Why is it that some people are able to launch their offers and make a shit ton of money, while there's other people that are struggling, stuck, and spending so much time on social media just trying to find their new customer or their new client, and wasting so much time talking to the wrong people, talking to people that just aren't interested, or just not knowing where to look in the first place to find that new customer? My name is Jenny Stevens, and I help other online business owners, coaches, experts, service-based businesses, course creators, and I help them to be able to leverage their talents, their skills, and their passions to create a profitable business around the lifestyle that you truly want, and help you have the confidence to help you be successful and be the best version of you. So a couple of days ago, I sent out an email asking for your top 2 questions when it comes to building an email list and creating a lead magnet. And I was so thrilled with the responses that came in, seeing what are some of those questions that you have and other people have, because it was a long time ago that I created my first one. And so it's easy for me to kind of forget some of those questions when you're just getting started. I wanted to create this quick video where I'm actually going to take you through this process with how does that centerpiece of an email list actually really help you to be able to create more consistent sales, more predictability, and help you to be able to take the stress out of wondering when your next customer or client is come from, and you can ensure that things can be running smoothly and your income and your revenue are safe and secure, and you know when that's coming in. So I'm going to teach you a little bit about today about how the overall strategy works and what it looks like, and why having an email list is so important and pivotal if you really want to build a long, solid foundation in your business that can help you scale to whatever milestones that you want. So near the beginning of me starting my business online, and after the initial kind of novelty wore off with my friends and family, people I had worked with, my Facebook list, if you essentially my network on my personal profile, that was really when I started to experience that, oh God, where is that next sale coming from? I started out having great sales, but people were starting to get annoyed and pissed off with seeing lots of promotions. And I hated having my Facebook profile be like a billboard. And clearly so were my friends, because the engagement and the comments and, all of that was just dwindling. And so I was constantly kind of fighting with finding new people to share my products with, to see if I could find new leads, new interested people for me to talk to about my business. And a lot of the methods that actually I was taught with in those earlier days just really didn't suit me. It was a lot of kind of active prospecting, going into groups, adding friends, striking up random conversations with people that I didn't know. And for the sort of introvert in me, I hated that. It just didn't suit me. But actually I did realize that it wasn't necessarily it wasn't all about the method. It was more about making sure that if you are going to have conversations, it's with the right people. Because actually a little while later, I then started having lots of conversation with people, and it was actually so much more joyful and so much easier and so much more enjoyable for me and for them, because it was people that were actually interested. And so I'm going to walk you through how that can look like, and that can change for you too. So this process was unexpected, but it worked really well, and it was certainly more suited to me, and I couldn't wait to dive in. But it did bring up more questions with, like, where do I even start? Where do I begin? And also, how do I find something, create something that's actually going to entice people that I really want to talk to and are going to be more of my ideal customer actually sign up in the first place, right? So imagine you're able to create something that brought in people who are actively looking for help with a problem that you solve. They are going to be way more likely to actually buy from you, and they're actually putting themselves on your list and being able to follow up with ease and without worrying about being chained to your phone and chained to social media, which could be exhausting, can't it? So after learning about how this strategy could help me save time and stress and energy, and just feeling like I wasn't good enough with the methods that I was trying out from what I was being taught, I was actually able to generate over 5,700 leads. And whilst I was working full time and building my business on the side, I generated 5 figures in sales and did that part time, which was great. And actually this strategy was one of the biggest reasons that I was able to quit my job when I did. If I hadn't done, I know that the time span would have been a lot longer and I would still probably be stuck in that job, miserable as hell, hating every single Monday. And thanks to learning this strategy and how to do it effectively was the game changer for me in my business. And now I love teaching other people how it can work for them and helping them actually put it into practice. And it was so great when I got to work with one of my clients, Lisa, and she was someone who was working full time, building her business on the side, and she was so sick of having nobody commenting on her social media posts, not knowing what to say, having DMs and conversations in Messenger with people who would then just ghost her and just weren't actually interested, or they weren't taking the next step. And so I took her through this process and helped her set up building her own email list. And it was so cool when she sent me her first message with, I've got my first lead. And then it was so funny, I got then another 2 messages very quickly afterwards, and she was even a little bit scared about suddenly having these daily email notifications with new leads coming in, because she was like, I don't know what to do with them now, help. But it was a good problem to have because she could finally see that this was working. And she actually now was building an asset of people that she could then talk to and follow up with about her products, which was so wonderful to see. And in the day, she committed to the process. She put in the work, and I helped guide her through creating what she needed, putting it together, and helping her have the confidence to do every little step of the way. And now she was actually attracting interested people, which was wonderful. Now, there are essentially 5 steps to this transformation. Number 1 is knowing who your ideal customer is. Who do you even want in the first place? Who would you love to be knocking on your door virtually, buying your products? Or if you're doing more of a kind of one-to-one or group work, who is it that you would love to reach out to? Knowing that is key. The second phase is then creating a solution that helps the problems that those people are dealing with, the common things that they're suffering with and frustrated with and are keeping them up at night, is having then a solution that you can then offer them that's going to help them. And it also shows that you are the expert and you're the person that they need to follow and then buy from. Number 3 is then creating mesmerizing messaging that's actually going to bring those people out of the woodwork and wanting to take action, and knowing how to take someone from stranger to ready to buy, credit card in the hand, they want to buy from you and they want to work with you. Number 4 is then knowing how to get those ideal people seeing your solution, seeing your offers in the first place, so that you know that the right people are going to be seeing your stuff, who are then going to be way more likely to actually take the next steps. And then number 5 is how to rinse and repeat, so you can gain that consistency, more predictability, and then be able to scale it so you can then reach whatever milestones you have set for yourself in your business with that ever growing goals that you've got for you. So in this video, I'm going to walk through one of the 5 steps. I'm going to do a deep dive into that so you can immediately know how you can start attracting your ideal people who are going to be interested. And it's actually going to open you up to learn then the rest of the process with what that looks like, so that you can finally start making more consistent revenue. You can start paying yourself more of what you truly know that you're meant to. And so you can finally have a weight lifted from your shoulders, knowing that you know when your next customer or client is coming from, and you know that that next sale is around the corner, and you have got a solid process and system in place that is going to do a lot of the heavy lifting for you as well. And get to work with people that feel way more aligned with you. It's truly a joy for you to work with. And you know now that you can create a system that's going to bring those people to you on a consistent basis. And now when you get to use social media, you'll then be able to choose how much you want to be on there, down to personal preference, but it's not going to be the thing that you feel like a ball and chain to. But I wanted to do a live workshop on this specific piece so that you can start straight away and not be worried about if you've got everything figured out yet and having all the tech and stuff you need. I'm going to help you be able to launch this in the minimum viable way so you can just get going, because done is better than perfect. So imagine what it would feel like if you put out a brand new offer and you knew that you were much more likely to make sales and not be at the hand of the dreaded algorithm that so many people try and feel like they need to hack. And actually you knew that this was going to happen, sales were going to happen, and you could suddenly feel way more confident in yourself and your offers and your capabilities because you knew you had an audience of the correct people. We don't want to have that, feast or famine, that not knowing when the next sale is coming from, because it adds so much more stress than you need. So this system is going to help you really to alleviate that and give you so much more confidence in your marketing as well as yourself. Because quite often we feel like, is it me? Is there something I'm not doing? At the end of the day, it can be a mixture of the two things, the marketing and the mindset. But when you know that you've got a proven method and system that is going to at least bring you the right people, that's a huge weight that can be alleviated off your shoulders. And what would that do for your business? What would your business look like if you knew that you had consistent sales coming in all the time? What kind of impact would that have on your home life, your family? What would that be like for your stress levels, your sleep, your marriage, your relationship with your loved ones? And what impact would that have on you and your self-confidence, in your confidence and belief in yourself, the inner chat that goes on? What impact would that have on how you talk to yourself and how you treat yourself and how you feel about what you are able to do? So going from exhausted and feeling like nothing is working, you're not quite sure where to turn next, to suddenly then having more predictable sales from an automated selling machine that is going to do the heavy lifting for you. And this is totally possible for you. And when you're able to get that one part down and get that one part ticked off your list, it's going to make the rest of it just fall into place so much easier, and it's all going to follow suit. And you can then feel more confident knowing that you've got a proven machine, you've got a proven process that is going to bring you more interested leads, turn those people from stranger, like I mentioned earlier, into buyer, ready to buy, and keep them coming back for more. That's when that true confidence and freedom comes in. Okay, so let's get into this process then. So here in the middle, we have got the email list. This is the key. This is going to be the thing that if you speak to any of the kind of top leaders, the gurus, the people that you follow, probably I reckon every single one of them will say about creating an email list and how beneficial it is. Now, one of the things that you need to do in order to, it's like, well, how do you actually build that email list? And this is what we're going to be focusing on today, is creating a lead magnet. Hopefully you can see this okay. So the lead magnet is the thing that is going to entice people to put themselves on your list. It's going to be the thing that is going to do so many things, and I'm going to cover what some of those main things are in a second, but really the lead magnet is the thing that is going to bring people to you, and they're going to go onto your email list. So some of the great things about having a lead magnet is it does the sifting and the sorting for you. People sign up themselves. They are choosing to be there. Like, you're not forcing, you're not annoying anyone, you're not spamming anyone. They sign up themselves. The other thing that a lead magnet then does is it solves part of the problem. So you're going to have your offer up here. We're going to turn into buyers. So the goal obviously is to get sales with this part. I hope so. Probably know the light is a little bit funky on my whiteboard. So the lead magnet is going to give them something kind of instant that is going to solve a problem really quickly. And it's going to give them a great first impression of you. It's going to show them that you're someone to follow, you're the expert, and you're the person that's actually going to help solve their problem. And hopefully then that's going to mean they're going to stick around. And then it gives you an opportunity to then offer and introduce your paid product. And the thing is that some people may not buy straight away, and that's totally fine. The cool thing is though, is when you have this process in place, it actually means that people are going to buy when it's right for them. You know what it's like. Sometimes you see something, it's just not the right time. You know, it might be a really busy time of year, like we've got Christmas and Black Friday and there's so many promotions going on. You might have a time where you're going on holiday, or you're like, there's so many different things that it's just not the right time. The problem is when you're doing things more manually and you're relying on social media and, you know, messages and stuff like that, you have to remember to follow up. You have to be the one that instigates things. And that can be exhausting, and trying to then even manage that and organize it can be really hard. When you've got an email list, it's going to take care of that for you. So what this looks like then, when you can have a great lead magnet that is going to do all of these things, do the sifting and the sorting, is going to talk to your ideal customers' pains and problems. It's going to let them know, like, hey, I can solve something that I know you are struggling with right now. And obviously if it speaks to them, they're going to raise their hand. They are going to sign up themselves and get on your email list. Once they're there, now some people are going to, they might say yes straight away and they might want your offer, but other people may not. They might need to get to know you a little bit more. They might need to suss you out a bit longer and think, who is this person? I don't know if I trust them yet. So that's a first step. But then what happens is they will go into follow-up email sequence that is then going to do that relationship building for you. You can be very intentional about what you send, in what order, how often, and stuff like that. But then you can have a process that is going to introduce yourself, show your expertise, your authority, gain credibility, and gain trust and influence. And then when it's right for them, and be able to continually make offers. And that's what this ecosystem looks like. So let me come this other side. So then when they are on your email list, they're going to go into this cycle of getting more value, more content from you. You're just going to build trust. You're going to nurture that relationship more. It's that whole saying of like, you don't want to ask somebody to marry you on the first date. Now we can do a little bit of a, hey, do you want to grab a drink with, do you want to hear about my offer? If they're not ready yet, that's totally fine. They're going to go into this ecosystem where you're going to date a bit more. And that's where that nurture and building trust really comes in, along with giving them more value. Then it's going to come into making an offer, and then they might buy and then consume. Yay, winner. But again, if they don't, that's fine. They're just going to keep going in this cycle instead until they do. Now, when obviously people do buy and they do consume your offers, that's what we want, right? We want to make impact on people, we want to help people. They're also going to continue to go through this cycle. So you're going to build up even more trust, nurture that relationship even deeper, and then you might have something new that you want to offer them. Like, I'm such a creative person, I love coming up with new ideas. And so being able to have a go-to list of people that I can say, hey, would you be interested if I put together this workshop? Then I know I'm not going to be wasting my time. And so it's a great little ecosystem then for turning people from stranger, and this is then how you turn them into ready to buy customer. But it's done on their terms, which is great. So then from their perspective, they don't feel like you're annoying them and you're spamming. It's like they chose to be there and they can unsubscribe at any time. But if they're getting value from you and staying, you providing valuable content that you know they're going to be interested in, then it's going to be somewhere that they want to stick around in. And so again, this all starts with that lead magnet. Now, a lot of questions that come in is, well, where do I begin? How do I get started? How do I find people to actually, what do I do with my lead magnet when it's done? And so the beginning part of that process is then, you then can have valuable content. And all of these little blobs are your different platforms, your different ways of people finding you, depending on what you love. So for example, like one of these might be Facebook. You might have Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, you know, Pinterest, whatever. So this is like your platforms. And then you can send people to those platforms with these two, which is your different types of traffic sources. Which one is organic and the other is paid. Now, you can even do some of these things directly to your lead magnet. So you'll have a page that's going to do the talking and have that mesmerizing messaging that is going to get people to actually opt in for that. So you can do these things straight to that page, or again, it's a bit more of that sort of trust building, is you can then have something valuable, like a video, could be a blog post, it could be a podcast episode, like whatever you want to do, you can have that in the middle as well, okay? So, and all of this, again, can be automated, which is fab. So you can choose how much you do manually or not. You know, if you want to spend more time, if you don't maybe have the budget to do any paid traffic, or if you just like it just blows your mind, you know, it is a whole skill set to do paid traffic. But when you've got the right process and the right structure and different things, the right help, it's not as scary. So, you know, you might do one of these, and I know plenty of people who have made, you know, 6 to 7 figure businesses just from doing organic stuff. And then you've got people that also use paid. I love paid, but I do a mixture of both. So this is really that key piece that helps to feed into the whole rest of this ecosystem. And again, obviously you can do things where it goes straight to your offer, but in terms of bringing you an asset of people, having a simple and easy way for people to say their first yes and raise their hand is to have an irresistible lead magnet. So as you can tell, I love this subject, because this was the thing that helped me to generate all these thousands of leads and get 5 figures in sales while I was working full time. Before that, I was stuck in just this space. I didn't have a way to be able to actually generate proper leads. I didn't have a way to build an asset, which was mine, that I owned, that I could easily follow up with. I was just stuck in doing this stuff, the organic posting, messaging, and it was just time sucking. But finally then I was able to make money while I was sleeping. I was able to wake up and I was able to generate sort of 10 to 30 new leads every single day with the help of this ecosystem. And it meant then that when I was finally able to quit my job, I knew that I had this set up. And this is something that I'm always tweaking, I'm always testing, I'm always evolving. But when you know and you understand this process, you are going to have such a solid foundation to your business that's where you can really take things to whatever heights that you want. So that's why I just love teaching this stuff, because it helped me get out of my boring job, and I love it, and I love teaching stuff. And I've been told that I teach things in a really simple way, especially when it comes to tech stuff, which can scare a lot of people. I got you, I take care of it. And so I've even been teaching this stuff for like five years, something like that, because this was the stuff, once I learned it, I'm the kind of person that when something works for me, I like to share it with other people. So I've been teaching this stuff since 2015, but more like 2016. And then I started creating my own offers. I was doing some affiliate stuff before, which this works beautifully. Then I started creating more of my own offers, and then again, redoing this whole process with things that were new over and over again. So this is a completely repeatable process that you can do over and over and over again. And so I've had just such great feedback from people. I've been so blessed to be able to help so many people, thousands of people inside of communities, helping clients of mine, like I say, communities that I'm a part of, and helping them to simplify, help them to understand this process and not be scared by maybe all the tech and all the things that go in it. And it's a lot, it may look a bit scarier than what it is, but it's about breaking it down into baby steps. And so I'm putting together a live workshop, and we're going to go and focus on creating this lead magnet, because once you've got that, it's really up to you how you get people there, and that can be, you know, another part. But when you, at least when you've got this created, you're ready to go, and you can start building your email list today, straight away. Well, the workshop's not today, but you know what I mean. You can start right now, and you can start building that all-important email list. And so the reason I'm choosing this lead magnet is because this is one of those sticking points that I see come up a lot for my clients. Again, in communities that I'm a part of, is so many people like, I don't know what to create, I don't know where to begin. So this live workshop, we are going to dive really deep into helping you create that. So how the workshop's going to work, I want to be able to make it so you're not just sitting there and learning. This is about you learning and then implementing it and actioning it straight away. So I'm going to spread this out over 3 days. It's going to be 3 sessions, about 90 minutes long for each one. So we've got plenty of time to be able to dive into the process that I've created myself and I go through myself every time I create a brand new lead magnet. We're going to have implementation time together so we can help each other. You can obviously ask questions, get any feedback. And so then it means by the end of the 3 days, you've had time to be able to put things together, have that headspace to think after you've learnt everything that we're going to cover. So it's going to be just 3 short sessions over 3 days. And by the end of the 3rd day, hopefully then you've got all of your questions answered and you'll have a draft that's either ready to go or nearly ready to go that you can start putting out into the world straight away. And by building that list, that's when you can start then attracting buyers, which is going to be awesome. Now, one important thing to note as well is you can do all of this without having a website. So if you're worried about, well, I don't have a website yet, do I need it? I'm going to talk through again, like the lowest tech way you can do this. And I can obviously then talk a bit more about what things might look like later. But this is all about, again, minimum viable, done is better than perfect. So I'm going to help you with all of that kind of stuff, because there's tools that you can use that you don't need to have a website. So I'm going to cover all of that for you as well inside of this workshop. So again, really getting rid of a lot of those barriers where you're like, you're freaking out a bit, feeling like you need the whole shebang, when actually you don't. You can just start straight away with something very, very simple. So we're going to talk about that inside the workshop. And you don't need to worry about being a pro, being a seasoned expert and being in business for years and years and years. This is stuff that you can do even if you are brand new. It's about how you position yourself, the wording that you use. And again, I'm going to take you through all of that process. So if you're worried about, oh, I'm too new, I've only just started my business, or I'm not quite sure even what my offer's going to be yet. If you don't even have this stuff figured out yet, it doesn't matter. The key is you can still be building your email list. So when you are ready to launch your new offer, we can make sure it's congruent and you're going to have that list of people there ready to go. So it can start right here. And that's why I chose this particular piece to really dive in, because it is going to be that catalyst that's going to propel you forward into then being able to create this whole automated selling machine yourself. So if you're interested to be able to join me in this workshop, then I cannot wait to have you there. I'm going to keep it to a small group so I can serve you with, the most amount of time and attention that I can. Now, there is only limited spots because of this, and right now we do have an early bird price that's actually going to end at the end of Wednesday. So by the time it gets to Thursday, then the early bird price will have disappeared, but it's still so affordable. It's still so cheap. I kind of can't believe I chose this price. It's super cheap, but I want us to make an impact with it. And I know this is really going to help you. And this time of year, it can bring up a lot of, mindset stuff. And we feel like, I thought I was going to be further along than I wanted to be. I'm going to help you with all of that. And so you can walk away with something that you've created and done together, and you can start making progress. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be doing this kind of workshop live again. It might be something that I end up just giving the recordings away, potentially. So if you love being in that live environment, then this is definitely going to be for you. As I say, this is only open for a limited time, because obviously once the doors close and we're ready then to start the live workshop, that's it. So if you want to be part of helping to create this amazing workshop that might well, go into more of a digital course myself, I don't even know if I'm going to do it again live, then get yourself signed up now. And the beauty of this workshop is the perfect opportunity for you to get into action. I have got so many notepads down on my bookshelf down there with so many notes. And the last thing that you want to do is when you go to an event or you go to something and you just have pages and pages of notes, but then when you actually go to implement it, you either can't remember or your notes don't quite make sense. You don't have the help there to actually put it into action. So that's why I wanted to create this workshop in the way that we're doing it, so we can do it together. You can implement as you go, because that is such a more effective process and way of doing it that I found myself, and we're going to help you do that too. And I can't wait for you to be able to walk away from those 3 days with this ready to go, with a plan of how you can get people actually seeing it, and here you go, start building your amazing email list with that irresistible lead magnet that's going to bring your perfect customers to you, your ideal people, and have an asset that is yours to give you more predictability and more consistency in your sales. So if you are interested, then you can click on the link around this video, get yourself signed up, and all of the next steps will be in your kind of welcome email, and I can't wait to dive in.